Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. So as the name implies, this is an Android tablet, kind of like an iPad except it's running Android. This is basically like a supersized version of the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. I mean, minus the cameras. You have a Super AMOLED display that refreshes at 120 Hz, so it is buttery smooth. This is a 12.4-inch panel. There's also a smaller 11-inch version. The processor inside is a Snapdragon 865 Plus, and there's a SIM tray, so you can just put your SIM card in there and it'll support 5G. So it's basically like a supersized phone, and because it's running Android, that means all your favorite apps are running perfectly on the screen, like Instagram, Twitter, whatever the heck you like. I mean, look at how nice Instagram looks on this large 120 Hz, 12.4-inch panel. So looking at the overall hardware, this is a really thin tablet, and it's really light. It weighs 1.2 pounds. But of course, with something with this much processing power, you probably want to do some work on it, like productivity work. And for that, Samsung has introduced a keyboard case that you just snap on like that. And also, it's a two-part case basically. So you snap it on to the back like this. So it becomes this little nice little folio. And once you snap that on, there's a hinge right here that opens up a kickstand. And you can bring down a keyboard just like that. You notice that now the desktop looks different from earlier. That's because this is now running Samsung DeX. Now you can run multiple Android apps at the same time, like Instagram, YouTube Studio, Google Maps. Now you notice that most of the apps are rectangular shaped because it's an Android app. But some of them you actually can stretch across full screen. Actually, all the apps you can stretch across full screen, but not all of them work that well. Like Google Maps looks great on here, but other apps like Instagram just refuses to go the full, cover the entire screen just because the aspect ratio is a little bit too weird. Now this keyboard is very nice. It's a full-size keyboard. There's a lot of key travel. I've been able to get my full typing speed on this keyboard. This trackpad is very responsive and very accurate. It supports tap to click, which I really like, and also other gestures like 2 fingers swipe up and down. Now I have Power Director running on the tablet right now. Power Director is one of the better Android video editing apps. So I edited this clip yesterday just using a bunch of different clips, and processing, it's not bad because it's a Snapdragon 865 Plus. So I processed this 6-minute video in about 3 minutes, so it's not too bad. This is a 1080p resolution though. It's right here. So that means if you want to do video editing, you can make do with this tablet. Obviously, it's not going to be as powerful as using a MacBook or a dedicated laptop. Now, you'll notice that this screen, it's ideal for videos because it's a wide 18:9 aspect ratio. And the speakers are very good too. You have dual sounding speakers right here from the left and right side. So, oh, and these are my friends here. We used to play in a band, but that band has disbanded. To further boost your productivity, you also can buy an S Pen for this tablet. This S Pen behaves similarly to the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra's S Pen, meaning you can tap on a button to set up little shortcuts, and latency is really good. It's really responsive. Palm rejection is okay. Another feature I really like using the pen, you can just write on the keyboard and it'll come out as text. And you see the text pickup, it's very smart. And you see I'm kind of scribbling really fast. And there's a really clever way to store this S Pen too. You just have to snap it on the back. It sticks on magnetically, and then you just close the tab and it protects the pen. I actually like that much better than the Apple Pencil and iPad Pro, which sits on the top of the tablet, and it just doesn't feel secure. I feel like when I put it in and out of a bag, it might get knocked off the tablet. Whereas this, when it's closed, the pen is covered, it feels very secure. Okay, now looking at the camera, so you have a dual camera system on the back. It's a 13 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. Around the front, you also have an 8 megapixel selfie camera, and the cameras are serviceable for a laptop. This looks pretty clean. Now you flip it around, you have this main 13 megapixel camera, and then you can go to an ultra wide angle camera. I mean, this is obviously not going to be as good a camera as what you see on the Note 20 Ultra, but this is a really solid camera for a tablet computer. And I particularly like that the front-facing camera is in the right position, because if you're using iPad Pro, the front-facing camera is actually in the corner. So it's a little bit weird when you're having video calls and you have to constantly look to the side. But this, you can actually be in a video call and you can kind of look the person at least straight on because you're just looking at right here. So because this screen is Samsung's AMOLED panel, so you get really excellent viewing angles and excellent colors, and the speakers are also very good, as I mentioned. Let's do another test. Now ultimately, Samsung DeX does a good job of simulating the laptop using experience, but it's not perfect. As I said, not all Android apps will run well in this screen because Android apps are designed to run vertically. And also there's some inconsistent logic with taps and clicks. So for example, on the desktop, it is a double tap, double click to open something. So I have to tap twice to open Google Maps, for example, tap twice to open the Google Play Store. But then once you're inside a specific app, sometimes it only takes one tap to open. For example, Google Docs, it only takes one tap to open a document. And so there's some inconsistency with logic. Sometimes it's a double tap, sometimes it's one tap. But for the most part, I really like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus because of how light and thin it is. And I really like that I can run Instagram natively while I'm working because there is no real good Instagram app for Mac OS or Windows OS. Now as far as battery life, there's a 10,000 mAh battery in here. So if you are doing basic office work like just writing articles and sending emails, it's gonna last you about 6-7 hours. But if you're watching movies with the screen brightness on quite high, it's only gonna last you about 4 to 5 hours. But either way, you're not getting a full 8 hours workday out of this tablet on a single charge. But the good news is it charges via USB-C, and the included charging brick does give you fast charging. Now in terms of pricing, it depends on the configuration. The base model of this tablet starts with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage, and that starts at about 600 something US dollars. But that's just the price of the tablet, not including the keyboard or the S Pen and any of that. If you want to get the middle configuration, which is what I have here, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage, and then you get the keyboard and the S Pen, it goes up to just about $1,000. So this is not cheap, but at the same time, if you are someone who does a lot of work on the go and you don't want to commit to a laptop because you still want to have like an Android device to play games, like touchscreen games, then this might be a worthy consideration. But ultimately, I still think the iPad Pro, it's a better option because the Apple Pencil is a little bit better than this, and the iPad OS is just a little bit more refined than Android running on a desktop mode, even if it's Samsung's DeX. But if you don't like Apple, then this is about as good an option as you have right now. So that's about it for this review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. I really like it, to be honest, but I just like the iPad Pro a little bit more. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, stay safe.